Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Friday, April 3rd, 2020. Shown here is a precipitation for the past 7 days with the observed amounts on the left and the percent of normal on the right. We have had a few storms move through the last week or so, bringing some pretty good amount of precipitation to the central Idaho mountains and also some of the higher elevations of western Wyoming and Utah. Some of this precipitation has come in the form of snow, especially over the higher elevations of central Idaho, western Wyoming, and the mountains of northern and central Utah. Currently, our snowpack is shown here in the image on the right, and we're seeing our values coming at near normal for much of the region. Across southern Utah, those values are actually above normal right now with some of those recent storms. And then along the Sierra front, those values are dipping below normal, something we want to watch going into the next couple of weeks. This morning's satellite imagery is shown here. We're looking for generally dry westerly flow in place over Utah and Idaho today for generally sunny skies and warming temperatures. We are going to see some moisture move into western Nevada today, and that will spin up into Idaho on Saturday, and then bring some moisture into throughout the Great Basin as we move into the early part of next week. So for this afternoon, we're really expecting generally dry westerly flow in place over much of the Great Basin with high ventilation rates. Looking for breezy winds here and there, especially over Nevada and the central Idaho mountains. Lighter winds elsewhere. And our mixing heights are very high today. On Saturday, we'll begin to see some of that moisture coming in from that low off the Pacific Northwest coast. That's going to bring mainly moisture up there into Idaho and portions of northern Utah, and our ventilation rates still stay really high for Saturday. So the strongest winds on Saturday are going to be there across the Sierra front and pushing into Nevada and southern Utah. Some pretty high values here right along the Sierra front, looking at 40 to 50 miles an hour possibly with those gusts. And the mixing heights continue to be very high as well. On Sunday, that low will push a little bit further south and strengthen, bringing increased southwesterly winds across the geographic area and pushing some more moisture into Nevada, and then continuing up there in Idaho and clipping northern Utah. Ventilation rates stay pretty high. And we'll see those strongest winds focus over southern Nevada and southwest Utah with gusts in the 40-mile-an-hour range and continued very high mixing heights. The clearing index for the next couple of days is also very high due to those gusty winds and high mixing heights across the region. As far as precipitation goes for the next couple of days, we're looking for the bulk of the precip to remain over western and northern Nevada and up into Idaho and western Wyoming, and clipping the higher elevations mainly of northern Utah. But really looking for those dry, gusty winds over southern Nevada and southern Utah, not bringing a bunch of precipitation in there. On Monday, that low hangs with us and will begin to fill in moisture further south in Utah. The ventilation rates remain high. That low is still kind of the story of the day for Tuesday, but we will see the moisture decreasing across much of the region. The ventilation rates continue to be high. Then Wednesday, it looks like the moisture rotates back in to the Great Basin, especially Nevada and Utah, bringing maybe another round of precipitation for Wednesday, and continued high ventilation rates. And then finally by Thursday, we'll see that low exit off to the east, and maybe one more day of increased chances for precipitation there over southern and eastern Utah. So the precip totals for days 4 and 5, this is Monday through Wednesday, really is still looking for the best chance of precipitation coming to central and southern Nevada as that low slowly moves across, but continued chances over Idaho as well. Looks like Utah may not see a lot of precipitation in that time frame, but possibly in the Wednesday to Thursday time frame, that moisture will come back through. The extended forecast for April 10th through the 16th is calling for below normal temperatures for much of Idaho and Utah, and above normal chances for precipitation, especially over southeast Utah. This concludes today's smoke dispersion briefing. Please check back on Monday for the latest updates.